Good evening folks, and welcome to another video review, the second one for this week, one of which some of you have been waiting for, and I'm happy to say I managed to get into it now. We are in the Indian Ocean, and this is VELANA International Airport in Malé on the Maldives Islands. Victor Romeo Mike Mike. It's late afternoon. I thought I'd make a change so that you can just see this lovely little view. We're actually looking at the Big Bundle payware scenery by FSDG. Now this bundle comprises not only Malé, the airport VELANA that you see in front of you, but also the North and South Atolls, so you get quite a lot for your money. And in this video we'll be concentrating on the airport part of the product, and I'll release a separate video after this one where we'll look at the North and South Atolls in depth so you can get to see the complete product. So as I say, the Big Bundle scenery by the Flight Sim Development Group, or FSDG. This is version 1, the current release version for Flight Sim 2020. The download is 2.43 gigs and it installs at just under 5 gigs, 4.9 gigs. There's actually 3 folders, one for the airport, one for the North Atoll, one for the South Atoll. So you'll have 3 folders installed when you carry out the installation. It's currently available from Sim Market and FSDG Online. Now I'm going to give you the Sim Market price because they include VAT. This is €32.26, which equates to roughly $34.94 US, or £27.11 UK. As ever, US and UK prices are estimates from the euro and include VAT or tax, which of course may vary depending on your country of purchase. Now I looked at FSDG Online. They did have a tax issue with calculating the correct tax, so this time I logged in. I'm told it's been fixed. It's close. The tax in the UK is 20%, but they're still showing 25%. But then that's a lot better than the 69% we used to see when I logged in before. So there's not an awful lot of difference between the two, but I give you the Sim Market prices because they're included, the tax are included. But if you have an account at FSDG, then you might find it cheaper. So that's the airport for you. Let's look at the features list. So the features then, we have the full North and South Malé Atolls included in the product. Accurate and extremely detailed rendition of VELANA International Airport, Victor Romeo Mike Mike. Extremely detailed seaplane base. The new terminal is included, which of course is still under construction. All islands and luxury resorts included, and again some of them are still under construction. Highly detailed models of water villas and bungalows. Ultra realistic reef water textures. Several seaplane docks are included, and Flight Simulator 2020 technologies have been used for dynamic lighting, reflective textures and much more. It's compatible with all known add-ons, but they also make the point here that it's not compatible with other Maldives or other VELANA airport sceneries from other developers. So there you go, that was the features. Let's look at some history. Okay, history for you. VELANA International Airport, Victor Romeo Mike Mike, is a public use international airport owned by the government of the Maldives Islands and operated by the Maldives Airports Company Limited, or MACL. It is the main airport serving the Maldives Islands, located in the southern Indian Ocean, some 375 miles or 600 kilometers southwest of the tip of the Indian continent. The airport is located on Hulhui Island in the North Malé Atoll and near the capital island Malé. The airport serves as the main gateway to the Maldives for tourists and is well connected with major airports around the world. The airport began as a small strip of land on the inhabited island of Hulhui. Hulhui Airport was opened in October 1960. The first runway built on Hulhui Island was made of slotted steel sheets and was just 3,000 feet or 914 meters in length. The first aircraft to land at the airport was a Royal New Zealand Air Force Bristol freighter, which arrived on the opening day in the early afternoon. In May 1964, the government and the people of Malé worked together to construct a new asphalt runway. On the first day, 108 volunteers were enlisted for the project, and 1,563 rupiah, or around $102 US or 82 pounds, was donated towards the new runway effort. The runway was opened on the 12th of April 1966 by the President of the Maldives, Ibrahim Nasir. When the tourism boom in the Maldives began in 1972, the country desperately needed an international airport to transport tourists to the resort islands. So in November 1981, the airport was officially inaugurated under the new name of Malé International Airport. The Maldives Airports Company Limited was formed to operate and manage the new international airport. In January 2017, the airport was rebranded as VELANA International Airport, referring to the family house name of President Nasir. In 2010, a bidding process was opened for privatization of the airport. The final bid was won by a consortium between GMR Group and Malaysia Airports, who provided $65.1 million US or 52.2 million pounds as an upfront fee to the government for the expansion and modernisation of the airport by 2014 and its operation for 25 years. On the 26th of June 2019, a Maldivian Airbus A320 successfully tested the new southwest apron at VELANA International Airport. This was the first live flight operation tested by the airport operator as they awaited final certification for operations since the completion of the new runway extension. In July 2019, the new apron was opened for flight operations. In October 2022, a new seaplane terminal was opened, developed by China's Beijing Urban Construction Group at a cost of $55 million US. In the world's largest seaplane operation, the new terminal and dock can accommodate more than 100 seaplanes and operate 300 daily flights on average, rising to 600 during the peak season, with the capacity to serve more than 6,000 tourists a day. With 28,000 square meters of floor space, the four-story terminal building includes offices, arrival lobbies and 42 lounges, most of which are dedicated for resorts aside from MACL's VIP and business lounges. The new runway became operational in October 2022 with an Emirates Airways Boeing 777 arriving from Dubai. The existing runway has been converted into a taxiway. With the new runway being in operation, the waiting time between landing flights will be decreased from 15 minutes to 3 minutes. The previous runway only accommodated 8 flights per hour, whilst the new runway can accommodate 21 flights per hour. Over 40 airlines currently operate into and out of the airport, including Sri Lankan Airlines, which is the largest foreign carrier, which operates some 21 flights a week. So there you go, a potted history for you. Let's now have a look at the runways here. Okay, runways. So I've lowered the lighting at 6 PM local time. The sun's pretty much going down. Malé VELANA International Airport operates a single main runway, 1836, measuring 11,155 feet or 3,400 meters, and it's made from asphalt. The adjacent waterdrome, which serves the large seaplane operation base, has 4 water runways, and they're designated as North Right South Left, which is 3,900 feet or 1,190 meters, North Centre South Centre, 3,610 feet or 1,100 meters, North Left South Right, 3,280 feet or 1,000 meters, and East West, 2,620 feet or 800 meters. The airport lies at a very low elevation of just 6 feet or 2.4 meters and sits within the GMT UTC plus 5 hours time zone. Now, with the UK having moved forward 1 hour onto British summer time, the islands are now just 4 hours ahead of the UK. So the main runway, this is both ends, features high intensity runway lighting, high intensity airfield lighting system, centerline lighting and precision approach path indicators on the left side. So here we can see runway 36. We're looking straight north And we've got the approach lighting system, which is as per the charts. We've got the pappies on the left. The lighting system is correct, but we're missing, or we seem to be missing, centerline lighting. Let's just have a closer look. So here we are close up, and as you can see, we're missing the centerline lighting, but that's about all. Everything else is correct. Let's have a look at the other end, runway 18. So here we are looking at the threshold of runway 18, looking right down the throat of it. And again, as you can see, all correct. Approach lighting as per the chart. Pappies on the left, high intensity runway lighting, but as we've said, the centerline lighting is missing. No touchdown zone lighting at either end of the runway. Approaches, well, again, for both ends of the runway, you have a standard instrument landing system with X and W approach options. You also have an RNPZ approach option and a VOR X and W approach options as well. So these approaches exist at both ends of the runway. And just some notes for you. At the real airport, after vacating the runway, aircraft are to follow marshallers to their assigned gates or parking spot. And the only other thing to note, if you want a realism, is also engine startup is only permitted after the pushback into the taxiway is complete and not during the pushback. So you basically have to wait until you get into the taxiway before you start engines. So that's runways for you. There are jetways at this airport, but they are basically scenery fixtures. We can't get the aircraft close enough to get them to work. I'll show you the stand very quickly, just so you can see in the daylight. So just very quickly, we'll switch back to the daytime. Here's my aircraft, the Phoenix Airbus A320 IAE version of my airline. We're parked on the stand. We're pretty much close to the nose wheel parking spot, which is about here. But as you can see, the jetways, essentially they won't work. But then this is the new international terminal. It's still undergoing construction. I would assume at some point, hopefully, they might update these. So if you're using GSX like that, like I am, you'll get the no jetways here, and you'll have the stairs operating. Which, to be honest, as you can see with the rest of the stands up here, they don't have any jetways at all, so you'll be using stairs. And hopefully somebody's going to develop a really nice GSX profile so you can see passengers walking out to the aircraft. So that's the runway situation. Everything's perfectly okay except the center line is missing. So as I've said, no working jetways on the airport as of yet. Hopefully those will come as things get built. Let's look at the airport proper. We'll also check out the seaplane base, and then in a separate video we will have a look at the North and South Atolls in depth using a helicopter. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so let's start the main tour of the scenery from the daytime. It's actually early afternoon. We're in the western side of the resort area. You're looking at Sentara Raspushi Resort below us there. And we're going to move east towards the island, the main island of Malé, where the city is, and then onto the airport. Just to mention here, all of these products in the bundle can be purchased separately. I'll put the prices up, but you can purchase the airport if it's just the airport you want. And you can purchase both the North and South Atolls separately as well. Prices are going to be posted up now. Okay, so let's move eastwards towards the island of Malé and onto the airport. So as you can see, plenty to look at. Helicopter pad down there by the looks of it. And you've got the docking bay there on the left, where you can land your seaplane. Now we're coming up to the island of Filafushi, and again, as you can see, you've got ships in the ships all over the place that have been added to the scenery, and plenty for you to explore. And I should also mention that these places do come up with lighting during the night time as well. So it looks really quite nice. Obviously everything looks a bit better as the higher you go up, and you've got low resolution photo ground sitting below the buildings. But yeah, you know, it's there, it's done for you to visit, and as I said, it's lit during the darkness hours, so you can explore that and various little inlets. This is Guifalu. Apologise if I pronounce the names incorrectly. Huge long beach there for you to land on. And here we're approaching the island of Vilingili. And again, well developed below us, as you can see. Things for you to explore, and one or two places for you to put a helicopter down. And here we are approaching the island of Malé with the main city, which looks fine. Okay, low resolution ground again. Looks better higher up, certainly, but places for you to explore should you wish to. But as you can see, various bits and pieces added to the scenery here. And here we come to the China Friendship Bridge, which is lit at night as well. No traffic on it really. Don't really know why, but there we go. But very nicely done. So let's go north now, having a look at the scenery itself generally. Again, some low resolution work there, which would have been nicer if it had been done at a higher resolution. But as you can see, plenty to see. There's the new terminal on the right hand side. And the boat dock down there too. And there you can see a moving boat. Just past the fuel farm there on the right. But as you can see, it's been nicely developed. And here's the main fuel farm. Now there's the VOR station below us there. Okay, so let's go airside now and have a look. The grass areas, everything looks pretty nice here. Just try and slow this down a little bit. There you can see the signs, taxiway signs, down there to the left. So it all looks pretty nice. Nothing to write home about as such, but it looks great. It really does look great. The catering vehicles and the catering building. Huge open hangar there for you. And various trucks and things. There's the fire station down there. And it looks pretty good. Looks okay. Lots of clutter, all of it specific to this airport. And here are the places where you'd park off stand, or off terminal as they say. Here's my Airbus parked on stand 2. And this is the main new terminal. As you can see, I mean, in real life it's not complete yet, so the jetways aren't complete. They're not working at the moment. At some point in the future, when everything is complete, FSDG have said they will update the product to have the jetways working. But plenty of parking. All looks pretty impressive. As you can see, the taxiway markings look great. Just a quick example of some of the signage on the taxiway there. You've got a sign there, it sits in a plinth, and we've got blue airfield edge lights, all pretty impressive. Another close-up of some of the signage, and there you've got signs for entering the runway. So let's have a look at the eastern side of the airport, which includes the seaplane base. The control tower is over this side as well. First of all, the airside stands on this side. All looks pretty nice, nothing really to write home about, it looks really good. Quick look at the tower. Which, as you can see, hasn't been modelled inside. So now we come to the seaplane base. As you can see, plenty of seaplanes, all modelled. The base looks really good. The only thing that's missing is people and pilots. Many of you who see my reviews will know that VUELOSIMPLE did a scenery for this, which is really also quite good. And they had a few people and pilots sitting by the dock, and it would really bring this scenery to life if there were some people around. Unfortunately, there are not. However, the models on the seaplane dock is quite extensive, so should you wish to park a seaplane here, you certainly can do. But the scenery is good, it's of good quality. Another big open seaplane hangar there to the right. Very nice. And here, as you can see, the buildings next door, all quite nicely done. A little bit of weathering. Yeah, it's nice. And here you've got this additional parking. You've got what looks like a -8 down there. And here's the main fire station. Nicely done, but no fire station tenders outside, unfortunately. So here's a close-up look at the stand during the daytime. The concrete looks really good actually. And you've got the various hydrant connections here. Here you've got the Airside road. There's a close-up towards the terminal directly in front of the aircraft. As you can see, the jetways, while they're there, are quite nicely modelled. And here you can see the hoarding that's put round, because the jetways, as I say, everything's still being built. So this is quite realistic. And we're looking down the stands. As you can see, plenty of ground markings, plenty of room, and in the other direction as well. Here's another couple of stands. You can see the stand markings there and the ground markings as well. All looks pretty impressive. And there's a close-up look at one of the buildings. Here you've got the crossing and one of the buses. It's fine, it's perfectly okay. And once again, another shot of one of the stands. There you've got a landside hangar that's, well, not a landside, an airside hangar that's open with some equipment inside. And yeah, all looks pretty fine. So there's the view from the cockpit when you pull up on the stand that I have. This is stand number 2. There's the captain's side. And there's the first officer's side. So there you can see a couple of the buildings. As I say, they're marked Costa Coffee and so on. I don't think we've got anything inside these buildings, unfortunately. There's a close-up shot of the buildings, couple of buses down there. And this is how it looks from landside. So as you can see, it's a nice airport, quite nicely done. All the various lagoons are there with boats, some of them animated, and the airport itself looks good. To be honest, my first thought is that it's lacking, it really needs people to bring it to life. But when you look at an overview like this, you know, it's a nice airport. It's got everything you need, and for a change, you know, Male now is being looked at by developers, and you've got really, really good sceneries. So far there are 3 sceneries out for this airport. You've got S Design, which was pretty basic, and in my opinion wasn't much good because they had the wrong runway. Or basically they had the taxiway, which used to be the old runway, this one. Still active, so if you were going to land you'd have to switch visually to the new runway. The second scenery, much better, was developed by VUELOSIMPLE. I'll put a link up to the review and you can see that. And I had a hand in working with those people, providing some feedback on the project, and what they produced was really quite good and nice and very nicely done. And one of the things I really liked about it is they had people and vehicles around the terminal. The seaplane base was nicely developed and looked really good at night, so that's certainly worth a look. It's worth consideration. And now you've got FSDG that have waded in to the fray, and again, this is a nice airport. They've done a nice job. And looking at this shot, you can see they've done a nice job on the seaplane base and the runway, the surrounding areas, and they've developed the commercial area to the north, as you can see there, and we will look at that very shortly. Okay, so let's drop the lighting down to dusk. Okay, it's just before 5 minutes to 7 in the evening local time. As you can see, the sun's sinking there in the west, and lights come on about 3 or 4 minutes ago. And yeah, the stand areas, as you can see, look pretty nicely lit, all pretty well done. The runway and approach lighting, taxiway lighting has all come up as well. And they're looking north. There you can see the runway 36 threshold down there to the left. And these stands are all nicely lit as well, and you've got various bits of lighting around. There's the North Atoll that we'll look at shortly. And there's the city of Male on its own island just on the other side of the airport. That's also nicely lit up, as you can see. There's a close-up of the China Friendship Bridge with its own various lighting on the top there too. No traffic, unfortunately. And there's the end that connects the island to the airport. Okay, so let's tour Airside. As you can see, lighting's pretty good. It's not bad at all. You've got the blue airfield edge lights to the right, taxiway signs, and taxiways still look good, and the lighting here on the ramp is more than adequate here at dusk. There's my aircraft parked on stand 2. And as we travel further north, you can see bits of parallaxing and odd lighting here and there that just improve the way the scenery looks. There are sceneries, and this is one of them, that sort of come to life a bit more during the darkness hours than they do during the daytime. Nevertheless, all that you need is here. So passing over the fuel farm and coming onto the west side bay, there's an example of some of the parallaxing that's been done. And once again, some of these nice buildings here with a little bit of lighting. It's nice, no complaints at all really. This place looks really nice during this time of the day. And just a few little bits of subtle lighting here and there for you to look at. So while we're up this end, let's have a look at this area here that they've done. This is the far north of the main island. And as you can see, it looks good. It looks so much better actually in the darkness hours. And nice bits of detail. And there are places for you helicopter pilots that you can land here on the ground. Don't know about some of the buildings, unfortunately. But again, it's nice to see this has been worked on. The VELOSIMPLE scenery that I looked at was really good, but they hadn't really worked on this part. So you can watch both of these reviews and decide which one's best for you. But again, all looks pretty nice up here. Quite impressed with it. So as you can see at dusk, that looks pretty impressive. It really does. Okay, let's drop it down to night time now. So 10 PM local time, and again you can see the lighting has come up. All of the stand areas look pretty good. The taxiway, or what was the old runway here, you can see, is divided by the blue airfield edge lights, so apart from using your nose gear light, shouldn't have much problem navigating off or onto the runway at this time of the night. There you can see Malé, the city in the distance. And there we are looking north. And there you've got the east apron on the south side. And here below us is a seaplane base. You can't see anything at night because obviously these planes do not operate during the darkness hours. So interestingly enough, in the VELOSIMPLE scenery they do have some basic lighting, which kind of makes it look good. And actually they've also done a better job, I would say, on this building here. However, as I've said, you can look at that other video and see what you think. Once again, the view from the flight deck, this is at night time. And that looks pretty acceptable, to be honest. Captain's side for you. And the first officer's side. So once again, a quick look down the stands. Lighting's perfectly acceptable, not really a problem at all. And again, looking north, all looks pretty impressive. So that was night time. There's the new terminal, the runway's in the middle, domestic terminal here, east apron, and down here you've got the seaplane base. Let's bring the dawn up. Okay, 20 to 7 in the morning local time, and the dawn is up. As you can see, the sun's coming up, and you've got the nice red glow on the buildings, and the airport looks pretty good. Below is a seaplane base, and yeah, it's nice. And there we are looking north, and there we are looking east, and you can see the sunrise in the distance there. Very nice. Okay, so here we are in the daytime. It's early morning, somewhere around about 8:30, and time to wrap up the airport review and give you my thoughts on the airport, which is part of the big bundle review which we've been looking at. And in the second video we'll be looking at the North and South Atolls. So what do I think? It's nice. The big bundle is, I mean, the airport is perfectly acceptable. I'd love to have seen some people. I'd love to have seen a little bit more work. It would have been nice to see the interior of the new terminal done. But this is as far as FSDG wants to go, and I understand that. The advantage of the big bundle is, of course, you get the North and the South Atoll, included in the bundle. And basically, it's cheaper than if you bought them all three, the airport and the two atolls, separately. So that's the advantage of the big bundle. Price is about right. And the installation, as I said, is They're just under 5 gigs and you've got 3 folders, so it's a sort of typical Flight Sim Development Group scenery. And you know, for you pilots, everything you need is here. The airport looks great during the day and it looks nice. It comes to life a little bit more during the darkness hours. It's all very subtle. And the advantage also that they've done the northern part of the commercial area of the airport as well, and that's good. And as I said, you've got hundreds of islands and things to explore. We will look at these in the second video, where I'll be taking the helicopter and we will do a short tour of some of the islands of the North Atoll and South Atoll, so you can get a look at the water mask and see how they've been done, and trust me, it's really nice. So this part 1 is the airport, which, as I said, is available separately if you just want the airport, and each of the 2 atolls are available separately if you just want one or the other. But this is the big bundle, and I like it. It's fine. It's perfectly okay. The airport is perfectly acceptable. Everything you need as a pilot flying in and out of here is just as you need it. You've got the right runway now. The first review I did with S-Design, they had the taxiway still active as the runway, which was a complete waste of time. The second review I did, VELOSIMPLE. The advantage with VELOSIMPLE is you've got people and you've got internal development in the main terminal, and the airport looks just as good. So the other advantage with VELOSIMPLE is that they've also really done a nice job on the seaplane base. They've lit it at night, which looks very nice, and they've got people and pilots standing on the dock ready to go, which also I think is a nice touch and brings it to life a little more. However, the advantage with FSDG, they've developed the northern commercial part of the airport, which VELOSIMPLE haven't done. And you could arguably say, certainly I think that FSDG have a bit more texturing than VELOSIMPLE have. But both airports are really top notch. I like the fact that VELOSIMPLE have got people around the scenery, and if you want to fly during the dusk hours or the darkness hours with a seaplane or a helicopter, then you can do that from the seaplane base in the VELOSIMPLE scenery. You can't do it here because nothing there is lit during the night hours. But if you just want a decent airport to fly in and out of and see during the day or during the night, and you've got other bits and pieces, I mean, FSDG's airport is excellent. It's perfectly acceptable. As I said, you can save money by getting the big bundle, which will give you the North and South Atoll, and they are really lovely. Lots of lovely stuff to explore. Trust me, it's wonderful. And we'll have a look at that in the second video, which I'll hope to release tomorrow. I've done most of the footage, needs editing, and we'll try and get it out to you. But yeah, it's nice. The price is right, I think, and yeah, you've got all of you need, and it's a nice scenery. It's typical FSDG, and my thanks to them very kindly for letting me have a copy of the bundle so I could review it. But I like it a lot, I do. You'll be spoiled for choice for this one or VELOSIMPLE. You know, you can't go wrong from the pilot's point of view. But with the big bundle is good value for money, I think, and the other atolls and all of the hundreds of islands to explore is wonderful. So here we are then, Maldives VELANA International Airport in the Maldives, Victor Romeo Mike Mike. This is part of the big bundle payware scenery by the Flight Sim Development Group, or FSDG. You're currently looking at version 1. The download, 2.43 gigs, and it installs at 4.9 gigs, just under 5 gigs, and you will get 3 folders, one for the airport, one for the South Atoll, and one for the North Atoll. Currently available from both Sim Market and FSDG online. I'll give you the Sim Market price that includes tax, €32.26, which equates to roughly $34.95 US, or £27.11 UK. US and UK prices are estimates from the euro as ever, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course can vary depending on your country of purchase. I mean, okay, this is sort of at the top end of the price range, but actually this scenery is cheaper than the Hong Kong airport released by WF Studio, and it also includes the other atolls. So I think it's a good product at a good price. So there you are, folks. Thank you for watching. I hope this is helpful to you. I apologise for the delay in getting these videos out. It needed some sort of work for me to design sort of how to do this and give you the best of the whole product without giving you too much of a massive video. So I decided to break it up into two. So if you're interested in the airport, this is it. It's great. We've had a good look at it. Part 2 will be coming out where we'll take the helicopter and we'll go and have a look at some of the islands. So thank you very much for joining me. I will see you in the next video. As I say, part 2 will be coming out shortly where we'll look at the North and South Atolls. And if I can, hopefully stay with me this week. We're going to be getting a look at the new Dubrovnik scenery, which was released by Builds. Interesting. I'm looking forward to doing that because there's currently 2 other Dubrovnik sceneries out for flights in 2020, and I'm anxious to see whether this is real improvement. I get a feeling that it is, so stay with me for that, and hopefully I'll get that out to you before the end of the week. So thank you everybody, thanks for joining me, thanks for your patience, and I will see you in part 2 of this video. So bye bye for now.